What happens when two game store owners interview another game store owner? Stick around to find out. Welcome to the Dice, Cards, and Coffee VideoCast. This is a tabletop gaming videocast hosted by three game store owners in Los Angeles. I'm Dustin from BG's Tabletop.
George from Gaming Grounds.
And I'm Dae from Fire Dice.
And we're here with Dae today at Fire and Dice, and we are talking all about Fire and Dice, all about Dae and how Fire and Dice got started and what they're doing in the tabletop gaming hobby today. So, before we get into kind of the aspects of Fire and Dice and the business side, let's start with Dae. When did you get into gaming, like tabletop gaming?
Oh, tabletop gaming? Well, I guess, I don't want to say Monopoly, but let's pass that kind of stuff. But I guess the first
Monopoly.
Euro game, I guess you'll call it, games that came from Europe, Catan. Kind of, I don't want to say cliche, but almost everyone started with Catan. And that was, back in 2000, I want to say 2003.
2003?
Maybe 2002 or 4, I forget. But it's been a while. Like, one of our random friend brought it in. We're hardcore video game players back then. And then we had like a LAN party thing, but he brought Catan. Yeah. And then next thing you know, we're just nonstop. Catan, we just play another round. Let's go. But yeah, ever since then, that's like one of the first board games that I did play. And then that kind of brought me back to go to an LGS at the time. And back at the time, it was more like Magic was still the hot, card game to play and stuff. So I was like, oh, Magic's still around. So, because I played Magic too, a little bit with my brother when I was a little kid. So like, oh yeah. So I played a little Magic, got into that. And then my LGS had a board game night on Thursdays. So I started doing that, and I started to learn like Dominion, I think it's Acquire, For Sale, like all these older games. Set, I love Set.
Set.
Yeah, I love Set. Set's a great game, I think.
A good deity, too.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been, new games come out. We play new games. It's a lot of fun learning all these games. And ever since, I've kept playing board games, I guess you could say.
So, I have like 3 questions. Do you still play Catan?
Very seldom, maybe once a year, if not, just to play it, I guess. But I think it's still is an okay game to play. It's I like this Knights and Cities expansion.
Okay, yeah.
That expansion.
Cities and Knights,
Yeah, I think that's a very good addition to Catan. If you like Catan and wanted something a little bit different, I like that one. But yeah, it's been a minute since I played Catan.
And then, do you want to share the game store you started at? Are they still around? Yeah.
Yeah. It's well, I don't know. It's actually, I live right next to it. It's Always Gaming.
Oh, okay.
I think back then it was called, I want to say it's Weeby Games. I could be wrong, but this is way back when my brother was playing Magic.
Yeah.
But anyways, Always Gaming. That's where I started, doing the board game nights and play Friday Night Magic and all that stuff. I think they're still around, but I haven't really checked in recently what they're doing. But yeah. And then from there, I've been to Game Ogre for a little bit, and then JJ's Game Lounge opened near me, and that was a little bit more active Magic scene and board games. So I that's where I was there until Fire and Dice opened. Yeah.
You've always had an LGS since 2002?
I love to game. I don't know. Yeah, I love to play video games, games in general.
So Fire and Dice opened, I think we talked about this not too long ago, 10 years ago?
October 2013.
October 2013. So more than 10 years
now,
ago. Yeah, wow.
Impressive.
Yeah, it's time flies. Time flies.
Man,
sure.
When did you know you wanted to open a game store?
I don't think it was really I've ever wanted to. It's just I think it's just the opportunity came.
Yeah.
It was my current business partner, Chris. at the time worked at JJ's Game Lounge, selling Magic cards with his like 2 other friends slash business partner, I guess you could say. And I guess one day the store decided we're just gonna do our own Magic singles. And then from there, like Chris wanted to open a store, but his other 2 friends didn't want to do it. And then at the time when we opened, we had another business partner, Lowell. He and I were like, just just do it. You know, if you need help, we'll join in and, do it with you.
Okay.
And then what ended up happening is we kind of bought the collection from Chris's, 2 friends at the time. And then we got all of our collections together, and it was crazy. Whereas all day
Sorting
after
cards.
work, we're sorting cards and stuff. It was
Sounds
fun. It was fun and crazy, but yeah. And eventually we opened Fire and Dice.
That's awesome. Man, I wonder, like, I feel like it would be very hard to get started like that today. What do you think?
Well, to be honest, I think it's a lot easier if you already have a collection. This is mainly for like trading card games, I guess. Right. If you already have a large collection, because us 3 of us combined, it was pretty.
Was it all Magic, or was there
yes,
other?
It was all Magic.
Okay.
All Magic. I had like my own board games for demo games, I guess, at the time. But for Magic cards, it was all of ours 3 combined, and I collected. I do not sell my cards
Ever?
ever until we
until you open the store. I was like, wait.
But yeah, as a player, I was like the player that collected, traded, speculated, all that stuff.
Okay.
That was me. So I just had a lot of stuff like under my bed, in the closet, just boxes of stuff, cards. So I think for someone to have that already, then it's definitely it's very helpful.
Yeah.
Because you already have stuff to sell off the bat, ready to go. But other than that, if you don't have like singles collection, then it definitely is harder. Because the seal stuff, if you have older seal stuff, I guess that's fine too. But I think generally most people are looking for like the newer stuff. Like 90% of the customers are looking for newer stuff.
That's interesting.
So
you started. Where did you guys start the store? Because I know it wasn't this big.
Oh
when
yeah,
you started.
it was in DeSoto and Ventura. So it was only like maybe 10 minutes tops.
How big was the space?
Oh, it was maybe 1/3 of this.
Okay.
Yeah, it was small. So we are very event focused. We like to support the community, have a place to come and play tournaments and stuff. So if you guys probably know they can't see it, but maybe we'll have pictures up. But we are like 80% or 70% event space,
tables,
and like 25%,
So
retail
nice
space,
tables, nice chairs.
Yeah. But the old space, it was like our retail space was a little tiny cubicle. It was almost it was small, and we were able to support like 64 players.
Wow.
At that spot, so we were like, that one
impressive.
was probably like 90% play space and 10%
playing outside. Probably.
Yeah, we just wanted to run and host events. Like that's all we wanted to do.
Right.
And just so people listening or watching, square foot wise, your old space versus this space, estimate.
Last space I think was like 12,200. I think
1,200.
Yeah, I think, and then
1,200. I think.
Yeah,
That's
including like any storage or restroom. And here was 22, roughly.
Okay.
Yeah, and we do have like 2 restrooms here, which is a blessing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like 3 storage / office rooms, I guess. So, but yeah.
1,200 is pretty big, though. I mean,
to start off,
yeah.
Yeah. At the time, it was.
nice size.
It was kind of raggedy at the time, but
Yeah.
we had to do remodeling and stuff like that to the place.
Yeah, I guess
The AC was, man, that's the worst AC.
Oh, yeah. That's a challenge of opening a store.
If you open a
HVAC.
store, make sure you hire someone to check the HVAC.
Yeah.
That's 100% required.
Yeah. I wish I would have done that.
Good ventilation necessary.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Fire and Dice started 10 years ago, and you're with your current business partner. You're still going today. How has Fire and Dice like molded or changed since the beginning to now?
Molded. Well, so we started board games and Magic solely, and I think after when Pokemon Go got announced, I was like, oh, maybe we should do Pokemon TCG, and then we kind of slowly started doing Pokemon TCG.
Wait, you didn't do Pokemon TCG until Pokemon Go?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, because thing is like, we kind of the business partners, we kind of like just do what we know, kind of.
Yeah.
Deal. And then I knew board games. They knew we all knew Magic, so we did Magic and board games.
Okay.
And then I was like, and then Pokemon Go's come out. Oh, we did do a little bit of miniatures too. Because Chris, he was heavy.
Oh, like
he did a lot of miniatures.
Miniatures or like
no, like
war miniatures.
War
game.
I think it's called War Machine.
War
and,
Machine.
And
like
X-wing. X-wing. We did X-wing too, because he was in that community also.
Right.
But Pokemon, none of us really did Pokemon. I knew Pokemon players, like I know a Judge, and I think most of you might know him, Badger. He also played Pokemon at the time, but he was not working with us. But anyway, Pokemon Go came out. You know, everyone's like, "Oh, this is sweet. You know, I can catch Pokemon on my phone." And I was like, "Man, maybe we should try Pokemon." And it was like XY Evolution.
Yeah, that was a
Evolutions. That was it. Yeah.
Wait, was that a popular set when it came out?
No, it was dead.
So it was just very popular during the pandemic.
It was nostalgia.
Yeah.
So when we got Evolutions, people came and like, "Oh, I remember these cards back then."
Yeah.
You know? So very nostalgic. It wasn't like, Pokemon. It was popular, but it wasn't like now popular.
Yeah.
So, but we slowly did tournaments, grow the scene for us, and then so that was definitely a big, good addition in molding the store. What we're currently doing, and then as we moved to this location, we grew more community for those games, and eventually, unfortunately, we decided to let go of the board games, so we no longer sell board games at the store. It was sad for me because I enjoy you guys know I enjoy board games, but it is what it is. Business, financially, it made sense for us, so we kind of cleared that out, added more D&D accessories, more TCG accessories, and more TCG line, I guess you could say. Like now we do One Piece, everyone does Lorcana, and the Star Wars games coming out, but yeah, that's what we kind of do now.
And how long were you in the first location, moving to the one you are now?
2 years.
2 years. Okay.
Yeah, we wanted to extend to 3. We weren't like super ready yet, but then I guess what happened, the landlord sold, and the new landlord was like, yeah, we don't want you here.
Okay,
yeah.
So was that, you're saying 2 or 3 years ago you moved in here, or
No.
after that?
2 years after the
7 years
then.
then.
Yeah, so here would be roughly
Nice.
8 years now.
Oh wow.
8 years.
But yeah, it was crazy. It was literally, all right, find, go around, look for places, and then it was like, oh, this place is sweet.
Yeah, you got good parking out there.
Two bathrooms, and then
2 bathrooms.
Parking, we
Remember
wouldn't
the
know
bathrooms.
the parking situation because we don't know like how active all the other stores were. But luckily, parking is great here. And it was literally close. Man, what tournament? I think we just Smash Brothers tournament. It was Thursday, I think. We closed that shop, and we kind of pre-moved some stuff, but literally we closed that shop, and everything moved overnight here, and we opened on Friday.
So like that's pretty quick.
Yeah, it was crazy. We're like,
Nice.
so it was,
Didn't skip a beat, right?
yeah. We didn't skip a beat.
That's important.
Wow. Yeah. That's impressive. And then you worked Friday. I imagine.
Yeah.
So what was the biggest challenge, like getting started, and then to also look at the other side, what is your biggest challenge today?
Getting started was probably initial funds for like fixtures.
Fixtures are
you need the
expensive.
tables, you need chairs, display cases, computer or POS system, all that stuff. That definitely is a thing. And then, like I said, luckily we had singles ready to sell. So the next one is we needed funds for sealed product. Because, you kind of don't want to empty, bare,
Right.
store. So that's the funding was definitely
And
a struggle.
How many employees did you have starting?
0 employees. It was
Okay.
just us 3 at the time. The 3
Three amigos.
Yeah, 3 amigos. Yeah. So it was just us 3 for a long time, very long time, maybe 2 years, and then we kind of had like some side assistants sorting cards mainly.
Yeah.
But eventually we moved here, and then we did hire our first employees, I think, as we moved
Okay.
to this location.
And what about challenges now?
Oh man, I'm trying to keep up with the stuff. There's so much stuff. Like, I mean, we don't do board games, and
Right.
if we were, fortunate enough to still do board games, there's still a lot of board games. As a board gamer myself, I'm just like, oh man, that game looks fun. This
Right.
game looks fun. It's just,
I want to order that one.
yeah, exactly. And then space is, especially for us, space is limited. So it's like, what do we order to, stock? And LA is not cheap. This space is not cheap. So you got to pick and choose your battles of what you want to hold and carry for the customers and local players and all that stuff.
So you'd say like one of your challenges right now is like going through the stuff you have, or like,
Well, yeah, that too. You want to be able to sell the stuff. You don't want to hold it on forever.
you probably still have boxes of cards, right? That you guys are going through, or
Yeah. So we have like a sorting system going on, and then I mean, we did hire more people to help alleviate that stuff. So we're kind of caught up. So it's not like a crazy stack now. Before it was crazy, like, man. But yeah, I mean,
3 employees now.
oh no,
5.
Jared, Patrick, Isaac, Dakota.
Oh, nice.
So 5, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, 5 employees right now.
Pretty
They're all
good.
part. Well, actually, Jared is now full time.
Okay.
We promoted him. Everyone else is part time. So
Full time's a big deal, I feel like, in a game store, because that is almost someone who knows a lot of the inner workings of the store and is able to manage a lot of stuff and know how to handle a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Just because they're here
for sure.
40 hours a week.
No, he's been with for a while, and we knew him. We knew him when he was a little kid because he would be doing magic tournaments and stuff.
Okay.
So
Nice.
So we knew him when he was a kid. So
You create the community and then hire from the community. That's good.
And then they spend money as an employee.
That's how it kind of happens, because you get familiarized with them,
Yeah.
and they're familiarized with the
grow up
product,
with some of
and then only thing you got to teach them is like, all right, this is the POS system, and then,
Yeah.
but yeah, most of our hires were either friends or used to be customers. Maybe one was I guess he was kind of a customer, but not. He wasn't really into the card game stuff at the time. But yeah, it just helps if they're knowledgeable. It's in this industry, they have to know the product to sell the product.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So you mentioned staying up to date or like staying stocked on what will sell. What are some things you do to make sure you're doing that well?
I think this goes mainly for newer games because there's a lot of new card games that's been popping up recently. Is play it, get a demo of it if you like it, enough, and you feel like, oh, this is easy to teach someone else, a new player, then I think that's a good thing to look into or deep dive into the product, and then joining Facebook communities or forums or Discord now these days, and see what people are talking about of the game.
Right.
like oh, like this is I'm gonna get into this, or obviously it helps, like, oh, Star Wars instance is one coming out. It's like, oh, new card game coming out. If you're interested, let us know. And then we had a decent amount of people interested. Like, all right, let's do this.
order it.
And then let's see what happens.
What do you do with like product that doesn't move so well and like kind of sits on the shelf for a while?
So we don't do online sales at all.
Okay.
We don't even have a website. That's kind of crazy to me, but We are very community focused, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
Local community driven.
Okay.
So it stays in storage.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
What I like to call it, maybe not a lot of people will agree or like what I call it. I call it a slow burn. So you have a product, maybe it's not hot, but eventually it'll sell.
Okay.
I think Magic is kind of a tested time in that field.
So you've kind of already invested the money in it, and it's sitting there and slowly selling.
Yeah, because it'll slowly, like, customer come in. Oh, what's this? I'll buy a pack or something like that. Or even board games now, some of them get no longer reprinted, or they stop printing them, and they're like, oh, you have this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like, and those even rare board games go up in price because it's a fun game and they don't print it.
I always know when a customer comes in and buys like 3 or 4 board games, and they're like all excited.
But
I'm like,
but it is a challenge, because space is limited. It's like, oh man, do we have to get a storage unit to move all this stuff?
do you have one?
No.
Okay, good.
Plenty of times we were almost there, but sometimes not everyone is, I guess, financially can afford to hold product. Sometimes you do have to do a clearance or find another buyer to buy your inventory or stock. It does happen. It happened to us. We've done it.
Okay.
But for the most part, we try to manage best as possible to keep, like, all right, Commander Masters, very expensive set. I personally think it has a lot of good cards, but the thing is, a lot of the current players have a lot of these cards, so they don't need it. Right? They don't want to pay for the premium. But a new Magic player comes in, oh, I don't have any of these cards,
right?
So maybe I'll buy a pack or 2 or here and there, right? So that's why I call it a slow burn.
Okay.
Or like recently, we actually opened a few boxes ourselves.
Oh, okay.
Because we need the cards. So like
Singles.
we need cards from the set.
Did you get what you wanted?
Yeah, we got like Jewel Lotuses and like all the other hot cards in the set. So
okay.
We haven't evaluated. Oh, did we make our money back? But I think for us to serve the community, it's more important to us to have the product available as much as possible,
right,
for the players.
Yeah.
Because without the cards, they can't play.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then, do you get to play games?
Occasionally, recently, a lot more often than not.
Okay. After 10 years, you get to play games, guys.
10 years. I was gonna say
10 years. You
10 years.
get to play some
2
games.
in. I don't really get to play yet. So
it's
10 years.
You only have 8 years, Dustin.
It's definitely hard to find time, especially when there's new product coming out now and new releases. It's a little bit harder. So, but I try to play as much as possible whenever I have a chance. I go to Gamer Grounds, play with the group on Fridays. Mondays been harder for me, but I used to play on Mondays also with another group. And then we started doing like our yearly, we call it NeoCon, because one of my friends, he unfortunately passed away. He used to host a weekend gathering to go somewhere, rent an Airbnb, and we just play games all weekend. So we still do that, which is fun,
Yeah.
I know you also do that too.
Yeah, once in a while.
Yeah, so
that's great. Yeah, that's great when you can do something like that. And so Neo, is that?
Neo. That was his Neo. That was his Neo. Yeah, name. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so we just called it NeoCon.
Okay, that's great.
Little thing together.
Nice way to remember.
Yeah.
So before we move into the next segment, is there anything you want to share with anyone listening or watching about Fire and Dice? Maybe like, what is the thing you are all about?
We are definitely all about TCG, mainly Magic, Pokemon, One Piece. We also are doing Locana. We're going to be diving into Star Wars when it comes out. We do Dungeons & Dragons Adventures League also. Those are like our main product line for us. And we just love building community around the products we love. And we just, try our best to provide, a place for those communities to come and play, their favorite games and our favorite games. Because if I don't like it, I kind of don't want to sell it.
It's the chop.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to sell it. So just kind of how we've been running Fire and Dice, and it's been working out great.
Awesome. Well, after 10 years, I'm sure must be doing something right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Awesome. So we're going to head into our convention segment. This is a segment where we talk about an update regarding the convention we're planning. If you didn't know, we're planning a convention in 2025 in Burbank, Los Angeles, called, can we say the name? So a little bit behind the scenes, we've been recording episodes for a couple months now, so some stuff's out of date.
Well,
But I feel like,
Yeah.
LFG Con.
Yeah, LFG.
So this
what's
segment,
LFG stand for?
Whatever you want.
Yeah. I always think of the thing that I probably shouldn't say, but looking for gamers is
Looking for gamers.
The gist of it, yeah.
long time,
Yeah.
like the long name, or looking
for
for
group.
group.
That's
Let's F and go
Yeah.
to the convention LFG Con.
yeah. There you go.
But for our segment today, for the convention segment, we want to talk about branding because we got the name down. We are in the process of trying to come up with our logo design and font and color and how we want to appear to con goers or others in the tabletop gaming industry. So I think we had our first argument yesterday about,
That was awesome.
argument. We had
Discussion.
a discussion.
Yeah.
We all had kind of different
Yeah.
Yeah.
aspects
degrees
to
of-
what we
yeah.
think or how we treat branding.
I'd like to hear Dae's idea on branding or ideas around it.
For me, I think end of the day, it won't matter that much of what it looks like. I mean, obviously, you don't want to look like
Crap.
some crap, you
Yeah.
know. But for me, definitely like nothing too fancy, very simplistic, you
Mhm.
know. I mean, I guess you can see right here. That's our logo right there. You know, it's not, you know, crazy looking or something. Very simple looking, you know. That's me. When I meet, maybe it's just me personally. Like, I am not. I don't want to say it. I'm not that loyal to companies,
brand?
companies,
Okay.
branded companies like
Okay.
like Nike. Oh yes, the swoosh. Okay, sure. I don't care.
Okay.
You know,
All right. So that's your
McDonald's,
personal.
Golden Arches. Oh, okay. I don't.
But we are starting a convention.
Yeah.
And we want people to come and
Yeah.
have fun and have a great experience.
Mm-hmm.
Branding to you is not high on that list
Yeah.
then of
I guess I should
What
say the.
experience
I
it
guess I
brings.
should say more the logo.
logo.
The
Okay.
logo design is not as
Okay.
super expensive.
Right.
Important.
Okay, gotcha.
I think branding more in general for me is, you know, what is this product, you know,
right.
quality, you know, what are they offering?
Yeah.
So I think that comes down to when we start our first convention,
Mhm.
you know, what are we offering? You know, I think that's where that comes in. To me, that's me more on branding, you know.
What about you, Dustin?
I'm a big branding person, but I mean, I agree with you. Like for sure, like if you look at Nike didn't develop its image until the product and the company and the stories that
Right.
came from the company,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I also think that like colors and font and logo have a first impression on people, and they
Yeah, it
can
can pop
be
and stuff.
something that I don't know, like you could see a not so great logo design by someone. You know, you might find someone just out of college designing their first logo and it doesn't look great,
Yeah.
and you could get turned off by that, but that doesn't mean you're losing someone for
Right.
good.
Mhm.
But if you have something that's like really poppy, like, I mean, I was just looking at your Fire and Dice. When I think about Fire and Dice, I already have that font in my head. Like it's a good font, I think, for Game
Yeah.
Store, and the name even. And then also you have like the dragons too. I think that all has a connection to the brand that you're able to, at the start, maybe you don't think about, but it's something that you can grow from. And that's another big thing for me is like, I like to have the ability to be open and not be like pigeonholed into one
Yeah.
idea. I mean, that's kind of
Yeah.
like what we discussed about the name.
Yeah.
LFG
LFG,
doesn't
yeah.
necessarily like,
Have to mean one
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
down the road, it could be a lot of different things that we
Mhm.
do
Yeah.
for a con.
Like I mean, we kind of looked at other big conventions, you know,
Mm.
and their branding. Like
Yeah.
PAX is a big one. It's just PAX. What does it mean? a lot of people don't know what it means. But it actually used to be, or it still is, a webcomic. Penny Arcade.
Okay.
It's a webcomic, and
Didn't know it.
And
Didn't
then
know.
yeah, and people think of PAX. They don't think of Penny Arcade. They think of, oh, it's a big gaming convention. You know,
Well, just like
in general, they just think it's a big gaming convention. You know?
Origins, Gen Con,
Mhm.
you know, all these packs. The logos, I can't even really see them in my head. To tell you the truth, like I can't
Yeah.
really
know,
visually see
Because their
them.
logo is just their acronym for at least for PAX. It's PAX.
It's just basically just
and
their
Gen
font.
Con is just says Gen Con, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what Gen is. Does it mean generation or does it mean
I don't,
right? It's
I don't think it matters at this point.
Yeah, like I said, I think.
But I do think obviously it has to look good.
Yes,
And it has to have the right,
look clean.
font, look clean,
At
look
the very least, look
professional.
Clean. Yeah, not like some kindergarten.
But I think I'm in between both of you. I think I'm right in between. Like I think I see both sides.
Because
of
as
that.
long as you have we have the name LFG Con. From there we can. I think that's when we decide on. We're deciding on logo right now.
Yep.
But do we just do that as a logo, LFG Con, or just LFG?
I think there has to be something that makes it look unique. Like you have the Fire and Dice symbol next to it, to Fire and Dice. So, something that makes it pop out a little bit. I think it would need something like that.
A little flair.
Yeah,
what we'll call it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting though. I'm starting to see Dae's side for convention branding because the name, maybe the logo can be, I think like for PAX, the logo is within the font, right? It's not the font, but there's a
there's
like
a
a
uniqueness
grid
to it.
little
like
system.
pyramid shape.
Yeah.
As
So that's kind of
like
like
that.
and then it kind of looks like a
like a
Xbox or PlayStation controller buttons too.
Okay.
And then that's also something they probably
progress
emphasize
into that.
more down the road
yeah.
because they've grown so big as a
logos
convention.
change.
That's true too. But I think maybe doing something with a board game symbol like or a role playing die, 20-sided die, something with LFG, But I think we can also go down a rabbit hole, right? Like choices are limitless, and then we can be sitting there paralyzed by like, there's so many choices.
Too many choices.
So I think getting to that spot where we're like, we want something sharp, we want something professional, but it doesn't have to be like the perfect logo, especially for promoting a con like Nike. You're selling something in the con
24/7.
All the time. Con is once a year, and we're hoping to give an experience to someone. We're not really selling them anything except for that experience.
And to share like some behind the scenes of how we are going forward with our branding, we decided to do. There's a website called, I think it's 99 Designs. I can't remember the name.
Yeah,
but we're gonna do a logo competition website where we put out like what we want for a logo, and several people create one, and then we can decide if we want to go forward with one or work with that particular designer. Just kind of give us some ideas.
How soon is this episode going to go out?
Probably like a week from now.
Maybe we ask people to.
Yeah. If you're watching, I guess that's a couple things. If you're watching, feel free to let us know what you think about branding and leave some ideas below. Also, if you like this conversation and you want to hear more of it, maybe we can make a full episode about behind the scenes stuff. But
yeah, definitely.
We'll wrap up here. We're about at 37 minutes. So before we go, Dae, if you want to mention where everybody can learn more about Fire and Dice and all that good stuff.
Right now, we mainly use like our Facebook, which will have linked to our Discord and stuff, which is Discord mainly for our local community. But it's FAD Games on Facebook, or you can just Fire and Dice. I'm pretty sure it'll pop up.
You can join all your events and everything on there.
So they can look up
the event,
the details of events. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
cool.
on Facebook and Discord.
Got it all there.
Great. Go there.
Awesome. And George, where can people learn about Game and Grounds?
Just at our website, www.gaminggrounds.com.
Awesome. And then I'm Dustin from BG's Tabletop, and you can go to our website, bgtabletop.com, or at BGE Tabletop on all social media. All right, we'll see you in the next episode.
Sweet.